YouTube video, and this girl, I don't know what happened. She doesn't email me anymore. And it's always girls and mountains and YouTube.
I met a girl in Milo, so I may go hang out on the beach.
Different one?
And then hike. Yeah, different.
What happened to the other one?
She wanted to hike, and I had to come to town.
You wanted to hike? You didn't want to hike.
New Mexico.
We're gonna hike the 100-mile wilderness.
The cool part about leaving the trail is that you get to see the parts of the country that you don't when you're just following the white blazes. So my journey into Monson actually began halfway through the 100-mile wilderness at Joe Mary Road. Now we just got dropped off again at the Katahdin Ironworks Road, which from what I have heard leads into the 100-mile wilderness also. Thanks for the ride.
Hey, good luck on your journey.
Appreciate it. All right, so we made it to Milo, Maine. We got to go down 6 West, but I'm gonna go grab a pizza first. I had no idea what this part of the country was like, and there's all these little quaint towns out here in the hills. And the sandy beaches on the lakes. It's awesome. I caught 4 different rides and hitchhiked the 40 miles into town. Stopped along the way, saw the little quaint towns of Maine, which is awesome. I really, really, really love meeting the local people. I had never been up there, and so small town Maine was like completely foreign to me. It was as weird as walking through the mountains, or even more weird. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's an awesome place, and I've learned that like lumber and wood and cutting down trees is their main kind of economic enterprise. There is no part of the Appalachian Trail that had not been logged before. There is not a single section of it that is new growth forest. Now on the PCT up in California and Oregon and the redwoods, I think you actually get some first growth forest. So now let's talk about Monson, Maine. It is at the south of the 100-mile wilderness on the Appalachian Trail. If you're hiking north, then you have to stop there because it's your last resupply before spending 100 miles in the woods. And if you're going south, you have to stop there because after 100 miles in the woods, you're probably going to be hungry and need to resupply. Actually, we're going to talk about Shaw's because it's a staple of hiker services in Monson. Obviously, it's a hiker town because it's small and it's a must stop. So Shaw's offers shuttles to and from the trailheads all day long, free of charge. They have a gear shop, private rooms, bunk beds, and one of the best breakfasts I've ever eaten. I mean, I'm talking this breakfast is worthy of like a southern countrified grandma's kitchen. It is amazing. All right, so we made it to Shaw's, about 4 hours. Got lunch.
Slept good for the first time in like a week.
Jim and Trip get along?
You know, in our separate tents, yes.
And it has been a great experience staying here. The Red House is not the hostel. The hostel is next door. It's the White House, but the gear shop.
So Shaw's has been on the trail this is actually the 40th year. At least that's what we would like to say. It's actually might be a little bit older. Shaw's was a boarding home, and they were for mentally and physically disabled people, I think.
Still is.
And still is. That's what they saw the first hiker, like, yeah, you guys belong here. Come on in. This is for you. But anyway, so they just started cooking meals and, hosting hikers. And so in 77, it became like on the guidebooks as a hostel. The old man Shaw died, though, in 2004. And second owners were retired school teachers who also had a love for the hikers, and people kept a good reputation as well. People just loved coming here for the good food and the good hospitality. And so my parents owned the AT Lodge in Millinocket.
That VW 71 VW van is very significant because it used to belong to Earl Schaefer, the first through hiker.
So we're at the Appalachian Trail Lodge in Millinocket, Maine, of course, and we're just passing through on our way home to New Hampshire after a nice 2 weeks in the Maritimes of Canada. But we stopped here because I thru-hiked 20 years ago in '97, and my boys, Carl and Ian, are interested in hiking, and I thought I'd introduce them a little bit more to the Appalachian Trail community.
All right, boys. One of you wants to through hike and one of you doesn't. I think that's obvious. So can you tell me what sounds appealing about living in the woods and hiking every day for 6 months? The perfect examples of that are the through hikers of the past. They keep coming back to the trail.
Eating anything I want and smelling like rotten eggs.
I'm sure your dad's told you lots of through hiking stories. Is that part of your inspiration?
Yes.
And thanks for letting me stay here so long.
Oh, you're welcome. We loved having you.
We hiked in 2008. We heard Shaw's was for sale, and it was like, oh my gosh, we have to buy Shaw's. So here we are, all the way from Florida to Monson, Maine.
All right. That's the kind of stuff there that keeps the trail interesting for you too, you know.
When I was young, I didn't really get it. It took me a while to realize that the people you meet on a journey are really what make it great. It's not necessarily the place that you're going. And I guess we'll start off with the yoga girls from New Mexico.
Basically, Sean and I got together and we're like, what if we lead a group of women somewhere on the AT and do like a yoga backpacking meditation retreat? And I was like, well, how about the 100-mile wilderness? That's a good iconic chunk to do. And we started advertising, and these were the women that answered the call.
Oh, have you through hiked it?
I did an attempted through hike last year.
How far
made
did you
it
get?
1,500 miles.
That's a pretty good section.
Yeah, I injured my foot in Maine. And
how do you get rid of bears?
Don't get that far. The bear's already like in the next county.
That was great.
I used to dance, and then I unfortunately dislocated my patella.
So now backpacking?
Yeah.
And yoga?
Backpacking and yoga, yeah. I wish I could do it all the time.
What do you think of Shaw's and through hikers?
It's pretty awesome. I'd like to through hike everything one day, but...
You gotta tell me about your book on the privies.
It's way too early in the morning for like serious discussions. I'm not even awake. I have to have a full cup of coffee before I can think straight.
That's Soe. Him and his girlfriend are hiking the trail for the 3rd time, and on this journey they're taking pictures of every single privy along the way.
My current project is
Good morning.
a book series called Places We Poop. Privies of the Appalachian Trail and Privies of the Long Trail. Yeah.
This trail's your home, yeah?
Yeah. Well, that in the band.
Oh, what's your Facebook page?
Soe Hiking.
Is the honeymoon still going good?
Well, we didn't stay in the honeymoon suite last night.
Yeah.
So...
Everywhere we stay is a honeymoon suite.
Yeah, it's going really good. Just before it rained, this guy picks us up, and Jim, he was really, really amazing. And
he's like, I got some cookies in the front seat.
Which I thought he was saying so that we wouldn't smash them, just so like, don't, try not to destroy my cookies. And then he's like, well, I'm not just telling you to like tell you I have cookies. I want to give them to you. And I was like, oh, that's so great.
And they were like these 3 massive, delicious cookies with like
macadamia nuts and cranberries,
white
and they were
chocolate.
Monster. They were like, an inch tall. And I thought they were Nabisco or some crap, when he first said, I've got cookies for you. It's like, oh, that's nice.
I've got these 3 delicious home-baked cookies. Oh my God.
After a week in Monson, hitchhiking to and from surrounding towns, I finally made the decision to leave the trail. It was kind of hard, but I took off to the city, and it was a whole nother can of worms, getting away from the simplicity of living in the woods. However, something I realized on this entire journey is that generally a journey is not about the destination. Very rarely is it even about the place that you're going to. It's about the people that you meet along the way. Shaw's was no exception. On the way out of Monson, I ran into Supernova, who I'd met in Virginia. He was finishing his hike. All right, and you got like a rat tail going.
Yeah, it's right here. I'll show it just like last time.
How long, so it's like a Star Wars deal. How does this work?
No, it's not a Star Wars deal, but in Star Wars, I'm pretty sure that when you're a Jedi in training, you grow it, and then when you're done, when you have like become a Jedi, you cut it off. It was not Mall Branch, right around there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so tell me your trail name again.
Supernova.
You're crushing it, man. You walked all the way north, and we met in Virginia.
Yeah.
How many days in are you?
Days 94, I think.
Can I see your rat tail again?
Yeah, it's all loose.
So is your Jedi training almost over?
Yeah, it's almost over. I got another couple days, and then this guy's gone forever.
Very nice. Are you cutting it on Katahdin?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Fly it like a flag?
Yeah, like let it go in the breeze.
That was my last hiker interview of 2017. So the story continues from here into Bangor. So I met Jim and Karen. Thank you for the ride.
You're welcome.
And they're showing off their beautiful city. And this is Stephen King's personal home in the town of Bangor, where he grew up. Down to Boston, and I'm not exactly sure when I'm gonna edit those, so I hope y'all enjoyed this.
But a lot of us people, poor people, we don't have fish finders. So we have to rely on fishing videos.
I need to get Darcizzle offshore to come out here.
Something like what you're talking about, you don't see nothing like that here in Lake Havasu.
We need some girls to go fishing and teach us how to do it right.
That's right.
We got a world to live in, stories to tell, and messes